You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
Well, Power Mientes, this is your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, we talking indie comics goodness, baby. And we got two amazing creators of a fire book dropping from Markosia. That's right, baby. A dope graphic novel. Let me first introduce this wonderful creative team that are independent bosses and future stars, Mr. Rion Mosley and Shawn Lewis.
Woo! Hey, Al, how are you?
How you doing?
Doing well, my friend. Doing well. Traveling on the road, supporting the comic,
I hear you. I love you. See, folks, please, don't worry about Shawn's safety. He is not driving. I thought the same. I thought this guy is really dedicated. Maybe he is immortal, like the book. Yeah, I'm going to tease you with some images from that too. Woo, and that's fire, baby. This is a great project. And thank you for the advanced copy because I got to check out and read the book. And wow. So much fun. And everything you threw in there. Wow. I mean, this is fire. As you see me, I think this shows you my age. I was like really appreciating a lot of stuff you put in there. Like, yo, this is fire. So, right. All right. So I love me my origin story, muchachos. You know what it is. So since Ryan came on first and on time, my brother, let me know where you from originally and what was the first thing in fandom that you fell in love with?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. So I grew up all over the country. My dad was in the military from the time I was born until I was about 18 years old. So I moved everywhere. I've lived in every part of the United States for the most part. And, we finally settled in Arkansas. My dad's like extended families from Arkansas. And so that's where we kind of ended up. So that's where I claim being from is from Northwest Arkansas. And the first thing that I remember that kind of solidified my fandom was I remember watching Star Wars in the backseat of my parents' car in like 1978, I think, 77. I mean, it hadn't been out for a while, but that's how old I am, right? I'm dating myself a little bit, but it was, first of all, it was a drive-in and it was the original run of Star Wars. So
a drive-in, oh man, can you explain to these youngins out there what a drive-in is and stuff?
Sure. So back in the olden times, right, us folks would go and the car I had didn't have a seatbelt in the back, so we would just go and watch a movie on a big screen that was outside, and we had this little speaker that we would attach onto the window so that we could hear the movie. And it was something that we used to do quite a bit. But as you've gotten older, as I've gotten older, I've seen them less and less, right? But it was such a great experience. And if it was warm enough outside, you could actually sit in like a lawn chair and watch the movie. And so it was something that my family and I always tried to do. So, but it was always a good time for us.
I think. What about you, Big Shawn? What's popping with you? Where you OG from and your first love?
Originally from Ohio, born and bred there, grew up, everything. Ended up moving to Arkansas where I actually met. That's where I met Ryan. We worked together. Ended up in Colorado now.
Wait, you're giving us the origin of the bromance. Wait a minute, not yet.
Right. I just glossed it over.
The promance, right?
There you go.
All right, but before all of that, let's talk about you. Because you're OG from there. What was the first thing you fell in love with?
So I really what got me onto comics writing, because I was always a comics fan, right? It was a fruit pharmacy, a little, they had the metal stand, the spinny rack with the comics on them. Go there and read them for a couple hours just to decide which one you were going to buy, Yeah, but Frank Miller, oh yeah. Frank Miller's run on Daredevil when the Kingpin found out about Matt Murdock was his identity. The writing on that and Frank Miller, was just so phenomenal, man. From that day forward, I always wanted to write a comic. So, and now here I am, 30 years later. Well, more than that, but I'm not going to say how many more than that. We are writing. I know, right? Back when we used to get in the wagon to go to the drive-in.
And it wasn't a horse wagon. I hope. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, I'm not quite that old now.
Station wagon. That's what I meant. Station wagon.
There you go.
Let me ask you, Shawn, were you alone in your nerddom growing up, or lone wolf? Or did you have a tribe of nerds that were digging the energy?
So that's funny. There was like 4 of us. There was a guy named Todd, another friend named Ted, and we had another friend named Brian. And we would all go there to Fruit Pharmacy, like I said, and just spin that rack, reading everything, talking about them. There was a joust stand. Arcade game back there with a Miss Pac-Man. That was like our hangout for us nerds back then in the mid 80s. That's all I want to say about that. And
yes, that close.
No more dates.
Gotcha.
Aging myself.
What about you, Ryan? Did you have a tribe growing up, or you lone wolf? What?
So actually, I was more lone wolf. Since we moved around a lot, like I didn't have like a group of friends that I could go and hang out with all the time. I don't remember staying in any city more than like 2 or 3 years. So I was pretty much on my own. But the cool part about growing up in the military is the post exchange, which is kind of like a big box store. They would always have every Marvel and DC comic like
cool.
every month. And so like I could go there and read them all for free when my when my family was out shopping or whatever. And believe me, I have 3 sisters, and so I didn't want any part of that. So I would go to the book section, and that's where I fell in love with comic books. Specifically, the one that really kind of turned me on to was Jim Lee's run on X-Men. Right? Okay. I mean, everybody, that's an iconic run, right? So that's the one thing. And so the second part of that too is my dad was kind of into sci-fi and fantasy too. And so if I wanted to spend time with my dad, because he's a military guy, so he's gone a lot. So the things that he liked to do, I had to either learn to like, or I wouldn't have had any time with my father at all. So that's how it kind of happened. And it's just part of me now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's natural for me to always kind of been drawn to this stuff, and then to find that there's a whole culture of people that were just beyond me, and seeing all these other people that are actually into the same stuff that I'm in, to like that was such a big eye opener for me.
Okay, so. Gotcha. All right, since someone will talk about this bromance so quickly, I fell in love with Ryan here. Like, yeah, this is my homie I want to work with. All right, talk about that creative journey and meeting Ryan. And your
okay, yeah. So we started working together, and we both, he was my boss at the time. It was kind of a what's this guy all about kind of thing. We didn't know what we were into. We were just all about the work and everything. And we got talking one day about something, because we were both Star Wars geeks. We like Star Wars stuff. We went to the opening nights of Star Wars movies together. But we never really talked about comics much, or any kind of writing or anything. And one day we got on the talk of comics. I was like, oh yeah, I wrote a couple comics back in the day and had them published. He's like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, what? I was like, yeah. So I brought him in the copy, showed him. Yeah, I wrote. There was this comic company actually out of New Jersey called Dakawaka that they had a writing contest, and I took 3rd. But the guy said he liked what I did and everything. He said if I had any ideas, send them to him. So I sent him one. We published Force 51. It didn't lose any money, didn't make any money, but with comics, that's a win, if you don't lose any money.
Oh, yeah,
so he's like, hey, yeah. So he's like, hey, do you have anything else that you want us to do or to take a look at? So I sent him another one called Purity. It was a 4-issue limited series. Published that. Got picked up, got optioned by Kickstart Entertainment, did Wanted and The Boys and all that stuff back in the day. Yeah. And so, I showed those to Ryan, and Ryan's jaw just like hit the floor. He's like, what? And he's like, when are we going to do something together?
Ryan said, oh,
so
shit. All right. So was it like that? I mean, how did the conversation start up, Ryan, in your mind? How did that even happen?
Okay.
Who was talking crap about the latest movie first? I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
So I would say between the two of us, Shawn's the bigger crap talker. I'm just saying. But it's kind of interesting, because this story, it's actually a long burn, right? Because that conversation probably happened in 2016. And so we had always talked about doing something together, going back and forth, because I've always been a storyteller. So I've written stories. I mean, nothing. I've had a couple published in like magazines, but nothing to write home about. And then so Shawn, that conversation happens in 2016. Then Shawn leaves in what, 18?
Yeah, it was 2018. I moved to Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah.
He left you. Oh my God.
Yeah, left him.
Yeah, it was
Just
it was
left him. Left him
yeah.
at the altar.
Yeah. So then like I'm still writing on my own, and I have this great idea probably in right. There's so much time to do stuff when you're like when we were going through COVID, right? So I started writing this story, and I liked it, but I was kind of stuck, and I couldn't figure out what to do. So one day I just called Shawn up. I'm like, hey, I want to pitch this story to you. It didn't. The conversation didn't happen exactly like this, because we were keeping it PG, right?
And I hope you say hello first.
Yeah.
Hey, son, I want to know about a story.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this?
So I wrote the story. I pitched it to him. I said, hey, look, this I would love any kind of like feedback, and I think it'd be a great series, a comic book or something. I don't know. And Shawn didn't say a word, and I'm like, well, crap. I think he might have hated it. Like I have like I have no idea. So I'm like, all right. So back to the drawing board, and so he like it's really weird because when he moved, like since he's moved, it's not like we talk to each other all the time, So
Yeah.
to get a call from him, it was like, that's a every once in a while type of thing. So he calls me back the next day, and he says, "Hey, man, I really like that story we were talking about yesterday. I want to tweak it a little bit, but I've already written the first 8 pages of our comic."
Oh, damn.
And so
Yeah.
like that's how it started. And then right now, like it's texting back and forth every day. Like we
Oh,
went
gosh.
through the and we'd have calls and Zoom calls and all this other stuff. But we developed this probably for after that, like 2020, like it was probably 21 into 21, beginning of 22, when we
Yeah.
finally felt good enough to start like, hey, let's do this in Kickstarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We took 16 months just outlining the story arcs, figuring out how long it'd be. We decided it'd be about 6 to 8 years to tell it the way we wanted to tell it. But we spent 16 months just outlining everything, character bios, all that kind of thing before we finally started looking for an artist. So yeah.
So why Kickstarter? What made you guys decide on that particular platform as creators, to endeavor in your first project together?
well, so we had actually shopped it around to a few like uh, comic distributors or whatever
Publishers. Yeah.
publishers. There we go, comic publishers. And I
Those
couldn't
other
think of it.
people. That's
Yeah,
it.
those people. And we got really good feedback, but they, hey, we'd really like it if you had a bigger following, or hey,
Okay.
here's this hurdle that we want you to cross, and
Yeah.
so we're just like, okay. So Shawn's like, I'm going to start doing Comic Cons, which is great. So he's actually in Comic Con right now. He's in Albuquerque, and
Heading that way. Yep.
that's
where
the
you
first one.
going, bro? Hey, look at this guy. No wonder he happy about his spots. Hey,
Yeah.
he happy too.
So with all the feedback was always positive from the publishers, but it wasn't the comic wasn't this or it wasn't that. And then finally Shawn and I are just like, well, let's just get it out there. Let's just put it out there. And if nobody buys it, then we're kind of done. Right. And and we actually knew nothing about Kickstarter to start. Like
Nothing.
nothing.
Okay.
And so like we set this really crazy high goal for like, hey, we need this money so we can publish all the books and everything. And guess what happened? It got funded. Like we were shocked that it got funded.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So our first one got funded, and then so like that became our platform. And so we did the first 2 issues came out in the first Kickstarter, then the second 2 in the next one, and then we did 3 Kickstarters total. All 3 of them got funded, and then we had one of our letterers, Amal. He's like, hey, I really like what you guys are doing. I think it would really fit well with Markosia, and
Markosia.
yeah, and so he's like, we submitted to him, and then Harry from Markosia contacted us back. Hey, he's like, I really like what you're doing, and would you be interested in signing with us? And that's how it happened, right? And so we feel some sense of loyalty to Harry and taking a chance with us, and just being there for us when there was a lot of other opportunities for people to do that passed on it,
Yeah.
And so,
and look what they passed on. I mean, look at this artwork. Look at this joint right here. Isn't that madness?
Yeah. That's by the great Rio Burton. She did that cover. It was going to be the cover for issue number 8, but now, and we're still probably going to use it for the cover for the next trade paperback because I love that cover.
Yeah, it's sick and it is scary as heck. Because let me tell you, it's the last thing I want to see when I wake up in the morning.
There you go.
Oh,
well, if you know the
except
whole story,
on your bookshelf.
Oh, definitely on my bookshelf. That is definitely, like I like to call it, some shelf porn. That is definitely shelf porn right there. All right.
Nice.
And then you got. I mean, look at this, y'all.
So
talk about what's going on and the people on this cover.
Yeah. So this is actually telling the story of the quest, right? It's right there.
Yep.
Like the whole thing.
Yeah. If you look below her, below her is the her team, just kind of silhouetted. We didn't want to reveal too much with that. Above it, of course, you got the old gods. You got Zeus right there in the middle, who's going to be the main protagonist. So, and Tam in the middle, just kind of torn between the real world and this war between heaven and hell and the old gods of myth. So,
well, I'm digging it. It's what American gods didn't finish to be.
Hey, hold on. Go back to that one for just a second because I wanted. It was Juan that did this one, right?
Yeah, Juan. Yep.
So we sent the story to Juan, and like this came back like the next day.
Yeah.
Like that's how quickly he's like, I love this story. It's great.
Wait. Stop lying. He did this piece in a day?
Yes.
What? What? Are you crazy? Yeah. I mean, you told me with that city and everything like that.
Yeah. It came back within a day. Like, and so like he was like, dude, I love what you guys are doing. Here's just kind of my thought. And so that's where it came from. So
that is, you just blew my mind. I see the detail of the city, the characters, and everything that's going on. But what?
I mean, he could have been working on it before then, like the city part, but like the Tam and the team and the old gods, that was definitely.
If that's the case, man, what is he? He's gonna be the new Jack Kirby? Come on, let's go, baby.
Right.
Well, Juan has worked with a few people. Like I know he was a DC guy for a little while, right?
Hey, oh no, that was Andres. But
my bad.
No.
It's all right. Listen, you just manifested his next opportunity. Don't you worry. All right.
There you go.
Now,
yeah.
And look at this panel work. I'm an old schooler. I love me my eye candy. I want my comic books to feel cinematic, where my eyes are rolling across the page. Let me tell you, wow. Look at this one page here. If you're telling me you don't feel the action, you don't smell the air in that room and what's popping, and hear the noises. Then then, man, you guys need some help because this is an amazing page. Let me even blow it up. Talk about what's going on.
So the thing is the nice part is we've been able to give the artists a little bit of creative license. So what Shawn will do is he'll describe kind of what his idea is for the page. And once we submit that to the artist, they'll start sending stuff back, and they'll sketch it out, and we might make a tweak or two, but for the most part, we let those artists kind of go run wild and really like showcase their talent. And so like Shawn and I we each have our own favorite artists who we work with, and I'm from the Jim Lee school, and that's what this kind of reminds me of. You know what I'm saying? Like so I really love this page as well.
Yeah, I'm digging. You guys had a lot of dope artists working on because I'm telling you, there was some material that even threw me back to some old school styles. I'm like, yo, what are you guys doing? This is fire. I'm like, you guys got me going roll with this. And look at this too, gorgeous. I like these type of things going. I'm telling you, man, and your colorists, you're amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it was kind of a hit and miss process at first because we weren't sure. Like I said, we worked with a publisher before with the Purity and Force 51, but we basically just writing scripts, right? So we weren't having to hire our own artists, our own colorists, our own letters. So it's yeah, we got very lucky. I think we're very blessed with who we ended up working with, and some of the talented people that just stance. We found them, and they found us, and it's been kismet. It's been awesome.
Yeah, and we went through several different like styles of art,
Yeah,
and we were kind of trying to find our footing a little bit, and I really think that we kind of started hitting it out of the park with about what issue 4 or 5,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
you know.
I
So
saw that. I saw it. I mean, I was digging everything I was seeing. I'll tell you that much, dog. I mean, it was like, okay, all right, what's this? Wait a minute. It's just again, it was eye candy, and honestly, this is what comic books should be. I mean,
yeah,
let me enjoy these different views and perspectives and looks, but you keep the story solid like you guys were doing. It's action packed. I mean, I have fun. This is what comedy to be. Darn it, let's go. But
absolutely.
no
like it.
political messaging, none of that. It's just like it's a story. This is what's going on. Pop, pop, pop. I mean, please, thank you for your so many creators that understand what fun is. Jeez.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we want to tell a good story, but
is immortal forever. All right.
I love it. At least 6 or 8 years.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, that's the DC life cycle of their stories. Don't do that to me. Don't reboot.
Oh no,
years. Don't do that.
just to kind of to touch back on what we were talking about before, we have so much backstory and actually story that happens after this. We're kind of telling the middle part of this story, which is the most like action packed and things like that. But there are other pieces that are maybe minor characters now, but are major players in these other volumes. But we felt so strongly about telling Tam's story right now that we've kind of, I mean, we still have all that stuff saved, like it's written, and we're focused on Tam. But there's other stuff that's out there, and it's going to be like once this story like reaches its end, it's not over for this universe.
Well, I hope not. Cause I mean, when you have artistry looking like this, I mean, look at this too. Shit.
Yeah,
Some jaws on page. I mean, you almost smell the shark's breath in that middle right angle panel right there. Love it. Look at this.
That's awesome.
So the adjacent page too, just to show the power of one of the characters, that shark kind of gets broken into, and I don't know if you saw that panel or not, but it was a conscious decision by Shawn and I both to, in this scene when we're introducing that certain character, that we wanted them to know that maybe they are the apex predator and not necessarily the shark, and so that's where this whole like little scene came from, is that it really highlights that part about that character, is the fact of who they are.
Yep. Let me just say something about the artistry too, because this is in the last 2 panels. You see Homie and his reaction. When what a wonderful job by the artist to be able to emote the man's fear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Rahmad. He's we keep coming back to Rahmad because we both, like you said, we each have our favorite artists, but we both love Rahmad's work. And so he did issue 2, 5, 6, 7, and then he'll be doing more in the future. So yeah.
I hope so, man. Yeah, keep developing this talent together, because I think you guys are on something very, very special. But again, the mix of everything you guys are doing within this, I mean, it's things that characters everybody loves. I mean, who's the big monster fan? Who's the bigger monster fan? I mean, between you guys and this Promance, or is it an even battlefield in the fandom of monsters?
Huh. That's a good question right there. I don't know, man. I'm a big Godzilla fan, so I don't know.
So one of the premises behind this was I think we're probably pretty equal in that part of the genre, right? But we wanted to turn everything kind of on its side, and we wanted to make the bad guys the good guys, right? And so what are the archetype of like the bad guys? And so that's why you have like a vampire, for example, that's actually fighting for the good guys, or the immortal warrior fighting for the good guys, like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde character, good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like everything we've always been told in our mythologies, oh, those guys are bad or evil. Well, maybe they're just misunderstood, right? Or maybe they haven't had the opportunity to show that they're good. And so like that's kind of where the genesis of the story happened, was how do we make the the typical bad guys the good guys. And so like that's kind of how we molded this story, and that's kind of, we both really like the idea, and just using that as kind of the premise to develop the story has really helped us kind of round out like this great story that we get to tell, and so that's kind of really, I would say we're probably pretty equal partners now, more than we were when we even started.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, this book is gorgeous, and I mean, so talk about the release date of the book. When is this baby dropping, fellas, or is it out now? When do I have to spend my money to enjoy pages like this? So again, look at this. Another gorgeous page. I mean, folks, if you're not convinced from the pages I've shown you and the artist to me, just look. Let me put this on big. I mean, you look at this. Jeez. Let me take you know what? No distractions. I'm going to take my big head out the way. I'm going to take the banner out the way. Look at how gorgeous that page, the coloring, the lettering, everything just works on this, yo. Wow. And then you could just tell from the looks who homie is. You know what I mean? Gorgeous. Talk about, this too. I mean, like, wow. I mean, did you expect this when you handed in, this information to your artists?
Shawn, you want to take that one?
You needed it to look phenomenal, right? You're talking about Poseidon and Zeus and destroying a city. So yeah, he brought that to life. And like Ryan was talking about, we like to give the artist kind of broad strokes. I'll give him the script, and this is page 6 panels. I would like this panel to be a little bigger, that kind of thing. But man, yeah, with what Rahmad did with this and some of the other pages like the shark and everything, I hope we can keep him the whole 6 to 8 years that we're doing Immortalis, because yeah, if he doesn't get snatched up by one of the big three, I'll be very surprised.
You know what? If he gets snatched up, we just got to remember, his roots and keep supporting Indy. But that'll only help you guys. I mean, you always remember your roots, baby.
Yeah, that's it, right? Remember who started with you. Don't forget the little guys.
Who gave you some love? You know what I mean? Please give me a print of the con or something. Just for the love, at least. Damn it! Now, always supporting page. That's why when indie creators be like, yo, you want a physical copy? I'm like, no, sell that bad boy. It's all right. You know what I mean? Some of you digital ain't costing you really anything at the end of the day. Let's be honest there, If I could get it, I can. Otherwise, but now on the physical, I want everybody. So they get so surprised by that.
Yeah.
I mean, but if they insist, I want to send you autograph. All right, whatever. You want to gift me, it's different. You know what I mean? If it's personal, sure, but just to give me some, I'm good. Don't do that. Yeah. Sell that bad boy, baby. We need to support you guys because you guys are amazing independent creators. I mean, and look at this. Holy crap! And the colors, everything just pops on this. I love the background, and even the way that it's so colorful, the way that she pops off on the cover.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, that's Ediano Silva did that cover for us. We wanted to get a guy. He did some Witchblade stuff, a while back, and some other things.
Even.
Yeah.
I gotta love it though. I'm digging the shit out of it. This is great, and the coloring, everything. I mean, look at her legs. Just the coloring, all there. This is great work. I mean, this is what you guys gotta support indie comics. This is the most important thing right now. Because again, I hear everybody complaining about the big two, but the big two's for kids, folks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we were kids, we loved it, right? And that's why we love it. Now as we grow up, there's creators out there creating stuff for us. People of our age that could dig into it. I mean, let's go. Immortalis is one of those amazing books too. I was digging it because I was seeing all these characters that I haven't seen even in years, in books. Yeah. I'm like, oh snap! These guys are what? All right. Thank you. Making comics fun again. This is what it is, yo. I'm digging it. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Ryan. You guys are smashing it. So what's up? Before we go, last two questions here, guys, is what's up with the con appearances? What is the 2024 schedule? Where can we meet you, get some signed books, and hang out? What's up?
Well, we're going to try and hit the same cons we did last year. That's our plan. We did about 14 cons last year, supporting the book, going around Albuquerque, Denver, Wyoming. We're going to expand this year. Arkansas, Missouri. We did Texas last year. We're going to be in Texas again this year. So we're going to try and get about 10 states in this year. Have to keep you posted. Like I said, I know we're going to hit Wyoming for the PopCon. Denver Fan Expo we're going to hit again. Right now I'm on my way to Albuquerque for the Albuquerque Comic Con. So we're going to be everywhere.
I dig it. I dig it. I am digging it. So
awesome.
Why not the East Coast? You guys don't like the
no, we've actually talked about that. It's just neither one of us have anything that ties us to the East Coast. One of the things that gets Shawn kind of to the Midwest is family, right? Like he's got family still in the,
I will
area.
offer up my futon if you guys need a place. All right.
Absolutely.
You know, I even have a studio, so I got sofas everywhere for everybody to rest their head at and chill with a bar around the corner, diners around the corner, so we won't starve and we won't be thirsty.
All right.
Yeah, we're sold.
Yep.
Yeah, yo, for real, man. I want to support Indy, so you know.
That's awesome.
If that's all it takes for you guys to show off this amazing comic book on the East Coast, then you know you definitely have a home here in the Northeast. Real talk.
That's awesome.
Yeah, real talk. And I've talked to a lot of amazing, and I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of independent creators. It's just, you know what I mean? They just need an opportunity to be in the right place sometimes, right? So let's all make it happen, yo. Let's make, and then there's a comic shop around the corner. You can probably do a signing, make a whole weekend of it. You know what I mean? It'll be the Immortalis Con. Let's make it happen. Woo!
That'd be awesome.
East Coast tour. There we go.
Let's go. And lastly, fellas, you know, start Ryan here. What advice would you give to somebody trying to step into the game? Look at this. You have this wonderful opportunity to have somebody on your workforce that you connected with. And now look at you guys creating dope comics. You know, you got a trade paperback coming out through the amazing post that is Markosia. Right there. Check out Markosia.com. What other advice you got out there?
Sure. First of all, I just want to tell you, we didn't answer your question, but we drop on January 30th. We'll be on. It'll be Amazon and Barnes and Noble, Books a Million. Like all, if you go to Markosia's site that features our page, you'll see all the vendors that are going to have it. Right. So it is coming out soon. We still have a few of the floppies left from all the cons that we were doing and things like that. So
you mean first prints?
Yeah.
Oh, for you collectors out there, all right? You slabbers, this is the first prints. Come on, guys.
Yep.
Right on. Yep. So we still have a few of those left. But so the advice that I would give people is don't take no for an answer. Right? Just bet on yourself. Like we had not a lot, but we've had so many people tell us that all these people told us no, and then you just do it yourself. Like we went down that Kickstarter avenue, and miraculously we were funded 3 times in a row. Like we just bet on ourselves, and we were just like, we were both shocked and amazed that it happened. Right? Not that we lack confidence, but the fact is that enough people liked what we were doing that hey, I want to spend money for that. And I know Shawn runs our fulfillment, so out of his basement. So yeah. I know that he had he was a lot busier on it than I was, right? So but truth is we love the story that we tell, and we were grateful that we get to work together on the story. And the fact is once you bet on yourself, like you can't lose. Like the motto that we've always had, like we had to try, and if we're the only two that liked it, then we were okay with that, right? Yep. But both of us knew that it had some legs, and there's going to be some kind of audience out there, right? And so that's really kind of the beacon that we've been following, is just bet on yourselves, and who knows what happens, All
right. And now going to Lewis Logistics over here.
Yes. That's awesome. Yeah, totally. Just tell the story you want to tell. I mean, we knew from reaching out to publishers when we started all this, we were ice skating uphill with trying to do a 6 to 8 year series. Everybody, like the smaller indie publishers, they want limited series. They want it the most maybe 6 or 8 issues to wrap up the whole series. But we didn't want to do that. We wanted to tell the story we want to tell. And I would offer that advice to anybody out there. Tell the story you want to tell, because your heart's going to go into it. You're going to put more into it, and you're going to get a bigger return, and it's going to work out for you. Just trust yourself and tell your own story.
You hear that, folks? Just be you, be real, be honest. Just put your heart into it, and you got this. Especially
there you go.
You got to support an amazing independent community that, we're hungry for this stuff. We're hungry for good stories and good stuff. You know what I mean? That'll keep us entertained. And, you guys, just from a fan to creators, thank you so much for being bold and brave enough to put yourselves out there, your story, and share with us in your creativity. Hey, and
of course, thank you, Al, for putting us on. I mean, if we don't have people helping us reach out and getting us into this community, and that's the only way we're going to keep expanding. So thank you.
No, it is my honor and my pleasure. Actually, I got one more question here. If this could be anything outside of a comic book, what would you like this to be?
Well, we've already had this conversation. So
yeah,
one of the things that we see it kind of like we'd like to do like a series like on TV or something. We think that it lends itself to that kind of thing, and we've also kicked around long form novel. Maybe there's opportunities in the story, but we really think that there could be an audience for sci-fi and for fantasy the way that we tell it, and we would hopefully at some point get picked up and at least have the opportunity to do like a TV show or something.
Yo, I felt something when you said long form novels. I think that you guys have something with that, because that market is just really exploding. I've had the pleasure to speak to authors in that realm, and they're making some crazy bank right now. You guys should really think about that too. That will lead to a movie even quicker, I think. Because now when you have a full book like that, forget about it. You know what I mean? Now we're talking the trilogy over here, or the Immortalis verse. Let's go. 3 movies. Listen, I got my first acting credit. I'll be on the cheap, man. Don't you worry.
All right.
Absolutely.
Please keep me alive for at least a little bit of the film. Don't kill me instantly. That's what I ask. And with that, folks, please, this is what you guys got to do. I need you guys to check out this amazing website, Markosia.com, which is their publisher right now. Go check out their book, all right? Then go to your LCS. If you got to fill it from there. That's great. Go to your LCS. Beg them to put Markosia and this amazing book on their shelves right now, all right? And, of course, follow them on social, on X at Immortalis, Instagram at Tam Immortalis, and on Facebook MNL Comics, folks. And they also have a website, L-Comics.com. Check them out. The links are below. Show the love, show the support, because this is what we gotta do for Indie, baby. Amal Mega. All right, with the amazing Immortalis creative team. Hasta la próxima. Thank you, everybody, for joining. My Crusaders, we love you. Later.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.